As we get another look at this one, Allison Dahl in the starting line here. The Portatree sponsored Firebird lined up in front of the crowd here in Chicago. Great reaction time. Going to run down the racetrack ahead of the Mopar, and that is another round victory for Allison Dahl. Hello and welcome to the NHRA Wally Park Studio East as we continue our conversations with competitors in the NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series. And today, with a competitor in the Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series, I am joined by the first female to ever win the Stock Eliminator World Championship, your 2019 Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series Stock Eliminator World Champion, Miss Allison Dahl. How you doing, Allison?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I want to talk to you about a couple different things today regarding not only drag racing, but what you do outside of the sport. But first, I want to relive some happy times with you. And that was, of course, the 2019 season, which was kind of a roller coaster for you, but the roller coaster had the best possible ending at the end of the year. So talk to me a little bit about what you remember most vividly about 2019.
Well, a lot of people ask me if I thought, knew from the beginning that I was going to win the championship. And honestly, it wasn't really till the end of the year that things started coming together. I did have 5 divisional wins, but most of them came towards the end of the year. So really, like when I started the season, it was kind of a slow start and just kept getting better and better, I guess you could say, as the year went on. The most memorable moment, I would probably say, was at the end, when we were racing in Rockingham, which is a divisional level track. And when we clinched it, it was just incredible.
I can't imagine. And, I think one of the neatest parts about this whole story, too, is that, your right-hand man, quite literally, your husband, is Doug Dahl, the 2016 Competition Eliminator World Champ. And I wonder how often, I'm not saying you leaned on Doug, but how often did his experience come to help you in terms of what he was able to talk to you about, maybe dealing with stresses and pressures, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, actually, Doug's 2016 season, when he actually won the world championship, was probably one of my biggest helping factors because I saw everything he was going through when he was running for the championship, all the pressure he was putting on himself, how he was looking at the points and trying to see who could catch him. And, that helped so much because I think one of the things that helped me the most was not paying any attention to the points. A great racer once said, you don't have to track the points. If you win the championship, they'll come find you. And I think that is, I think that's great advice to tell anyone. Just don't think about it because that just puts more pressure on yourself. Just keep going out and winning rounds. And at the end of the day, it was meant to be. They'll give you a call.
Yeah, it is. That is spectacular advice and a great way to keep your sanity during the time when you're fighting for that championship and you can almost taste it. How amazing is it for you to be the first woman to be a Stock Eliminator World Champion? Because so many great female drag racers have competed in Stock, and Stock has been a championship NHRA class for 50-something years now. So the fact that you get to have that piece of history with you forever has got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing. I honestly didn't know that I was the first woman. It wasn't till Lewis Bloom mentioned it later on. So I had no idea I was doing it until it was all over. But now that it's done, it's definitely something very special to me.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about what you do outside of drag racing because your life away from race cars still is kind of all about race cars. So let's talk about what happens with your family business.
So we build the drag racing practice trees and also timing systems. We build complete professional quarter mile, eighth mile dirt drag, 300-foot dirt drag timing systems, and also the practice trees. And I'm an electrical engineer, so I do all the programming for those, and I do all the design, and I try to make them user friendly. And I grew up at a drag strip. I know a lot about timing systems, and everything we do is drag racing related.
And that company, of course, is known as the Portatree Company, and many racers and fans have seen either a Portatree Christmas tree indicating a timing system, or they have used the Portatree practice tree that has been a huge seller over the course of drag racing history. Allison, I guess my last question for you for 2020, when we do get started again, what's the plan?
Well, I guess the plan is to try to do the same thing I did last year and just go out, win some rounds, and hope for a good year.
Well, you can find her on drag strips all across the Northeast Division of NHRA drag racing and across national events spanning the country as well. Allison Dahl drove her Pontiac Firebird to the first World Championship in stock eliminator by a female racer, and she did so with authority. 5 divisional wins and some very strong performances in national events. She's going to try to do it again in 2020, and what we're going to keep doing in 2020 is bringing you content here on NHRA.com and across our social media channels. We'll be back again soon from the NHRA East Coast Wally Park studio.